Ask Abby, providing answers, insights, and education designed to give you the tools and knowledge you need to thrive financially and live confidently in retirement.
Here with Abby Reed, co-CEO of the Retirement Family Reed Financial Group, for another edition of Ask Abby. Abby, last week we talked a little bit about a question about common financial planning mistakes or myths or misconceptions. You've brought along this fantastic resource, the 7 Financial Myths, and a couple more of these very appropriate to cover because a lot of people are relying on these myths or assumptions. And it's only our financial future in the balance there.
Right. No big deal, right? When would you want to know if you're making decisions based on myths and misconceptions? Down the road when it might be too late, or now. And so that's why it's important to kind of go out, bust these myths, make sure people have accurate information about these really important topics, because people are making life-altering decisions and they might not have all the information that they need. So that's why this resource, the 7 most common financial myths, is so important. And so last week we got into some about the market specifically, and today we'll talk a little bit more about the planning, so the income planning, as well as taxes. So what are my taxes going to look like in retirement? How much can I take from my portfolio in retirement? There's a lot of rules of thumb, which I hate rules of thumb. I know that they're easy and simple to understand, but when you put them into practice, often they fall very, very short. And so that's what we're going to cover today.
All right. Well, if you'd like a copy of the full list of the 7 financial myths, it's a resource available to you. You can go over it on your own time and then reflect and see, is my plan based on this? Am I perhaps reliant on one of these or many of these 7 financial myths? You can go to goaskabby.com, goaskabby.com, or just give a call, 678-442-0255. Request the 7 Financial Myths resource from Abby Reed. So, Abby, number 3 on the list is about creating that retirement cash flow. How much can we withdraw from our nest egg? And fair to say that a lot of people have wild overestimations of the amount of cash flow and income they should be able to generate. And goal number 2, make the money last.
Right. So one of the things that we see more often than maybe anything else, or at least up there, is the rule of thumb, the 4% rule, which has been around for decades and decades. It was created a very long time ago. And it was an easy way or a theory of an easy way for an advisor to tell somebody how much they can take from their retirement portfolio, given they have a traditional mix of 60% equities and the rest in fixed income of some sort. So the theory was you start with 4% of your portfolio. You keep that mix pretty steady with rebalancing and all that sort of thing. And then you can adjust for inflation each year. And you should have a reasonably good chance of making it through retirement without running out of money. And so unfortunately, that has really stuck. And I think the reason it's stuck is because it is simple and it is easy to understand. It's easy to grasp and it's easy to use on your own for the do-it-yourself person that's planning their retirement. But what we've seen, and there's been study after study that's been done, the most recent, I think, was Morningstar, has shown that the environment that we're in right now is so different from the environment back when this study was done, that the same rules do not apply. And so a much lower withdrawal rate, if you're going to use that asset allocation, buy and hold type investment strategy, you need to use a much lower starting withdrawal rate. And unfortunately, what happens when you do that is if there is if you're lucky and you retire in a time where the market's pretty much up or, pretty good in those first 5 to 10 years, if you have that low over withdrawal rate, you're going to end up underspending. You're not going to be living the retirement that you want to live, and you're going to have a lot of money left over. That's going to go to the kids, which is great, but not if you didn't do, all these things that you wanted to do. You didn't get to travel as much as you wanted. You didn't get to buy the boat or, go to the country club. And so you could really underspend by using this. Or in a different scenario, if there is a negative sequence of returns. So if you're unlucky and retire maybe even a couple years ago, or at the beginning of 2022, you have that negative sequence of returns or a bad market to start your retirement out. In the exact same, scenario of that 4% withdrawal, you could end up running out of money 13, 14, 15 years earlier, just simply because you're unlucky and had a bad sequence of returns. So there's some serious flaws with sticking to a percentage-based withdrawal rate and using that asset allocation and buy and hold type strategy. Most of the time, you're either going to underspend or you're going to overspend, and neither of those situations is ideal for anybody.
Always been said that you can't time the market, and I don't think most people want their retirement confidence and lifestyle security to be based sheerly on luck of the draw of whether it's an up or down year that they retire into. Likewise, Abby, we want to keep as much of our money as possible, and sometimes being efficient with taxes is as effective as shooting for higher returns with a whole lot less risk. But there has been an expectation for really the last generation that we will be in a lower tax environment or tax rate when we retire. And you encourage people to carefully examine this assumption as their way of thinking and way of planning. It's number 4 on the list of the 7 top financial myths.
Right. So what we see more often today than maybe we've ever seen is a bulk of people's savings and investments are in tax deferred vehicles. So pensions have really gone by the wayside. Most people have been saving and investing in a 401k, maybe some other investments in addition to that. But I would say most people, 80 to 90% of their wealth is in tax deferred accounts. So that means everything that comes out of those accounts is coming out and being taxed 100% at ordinary income, just like your paycheck was. So unless you have a drastic decrease in your living expenses and you're not needing to take out as much from those accounts, your tax bill might not be that different, just based on that alone, unless you have done a little bit more what I call tax diversification, and you have some in a Roth 401k or a Roth IRA, or some other tax-free sources for income. Social Security taxable, pensions taxable, withdrawals from IRAs, 401ks taxable. So these are the most common income sources in retirement. So all of that's taxable. So your tax bill might not go down as much as you think. And also, right now I know it doesn't feel like it often, but we're in a very low tax rate environment. So right now, in our opinion, taxes are really on sale. And so what we do with our clients as a part of the holistic and tax smart planning that we do is figure out how can we take advantage of these low tax rates, because they're going to go up most likely starting at the end of 2026. That's when the current tax laws sunset. It goes back to the tax rates that they were before. And, I think we all know that our country is in some debt.
31 trillion plus and growing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. No big deal. One of the ways that the government raises revenue, raises money is through taxes. So there's really no way around it. Taxes are going to go up. They're going to continue to go up, and that's going to hit retirees when that does happen. So doing some analysis on when is a good time to do some Roth conversions, what other strategies are available to reduce the amount that I have in those tax deferred accounts, or at least balance it out a little bit. Because if you have a balance between tax-free assets and tax deferred assets, then even if at some point in your retirement, if taxes do go down, you can use your tax deferred assets. If taxes go up, you can use your tax free assets. It's diversification, just like everything else. We want our clients to have as many options as possible, because who knows what's going to happen in the future, probably both scenarios at some point. And so we can tap those different resources when it makes sense to.
Well, taxes are always a pain, but might be a little less painful now than if you continue waiting to pay them for into the future. So Albert Einstein said the most powerful force on the planet, the power of compounding interest, and the IRS was listening and paying attention, I think, when they let us defer.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, Abby, always appreciate the time. And again, great information, food for thought, and important strategies to consider and or reconsider here on this list of these top 7 financial myths. So ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to look over your planning, if you'd like a complimentary review of your your investment, your retirement portfolio, if you'd like this list of these 7 financial myths, pick up the phone, give the Reed Financial Group, the Retirement Family, a call, 678-442-0255, 678-442-0255, or you can go to GoAskAbby.com. GoAskAbby.com. Abby, always a pleasure. Great time connecting with you and great information on the program. Thank you.
Awesome. It's always fun, Peter. Thank you.
Here to answer your financial questions, visit the website goaskabby.com for show resources and to submit your questions and get answers, or to schedule your complimentary financial investment and retirement planning strategy session. You can also reach out to Abby directly at 678-442-0255. That's 678-442-0255, or at goaskabby.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, LLC, BCM, a registered investment advisor. BCM and Reed Financial Group are independent of each other. Insurance products and services are not offered through BCM, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents. Third-party ratings and recognitions are no guarantee of future investment success and do not ensure that a client or prospective client will experience a higher level of performance or results. These ratings should not be construed as an endorsement of the advisor by any client, nor are they representative of any one client's evaluation.